Well, better late than never, right? Okay. So, now we just gotta draw a billion different walls. Let's just look at the ones that we have here. Let's just start with the two sides. We've got this guy, and then this is going to be the side variation. So instead of being this orientation, it's going to be more like this, where this is going to be essentially just rotated. Well, like so. And make it 16. Okay, so it'll go down to right here. Game's looking cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's coming along. This update should be out on the 18th. So I'm excited to see what kind of stuff people make with the new flooring and stuff. I think we do something like this. We could potentially do like a little, you know, almost like bark on here, but I'm not sure if that would actually look good or not. I think I might leave that out. I always try and err on the side, usually, of simplicity with these things, so. Okay, so this is the top log right here. So really it's just going to be a bunch of this alternating, yeah, title, that stuff. So it's just going to be two of these. There's this guy, should be 16. Then it goes to black here. How wide is this? 8 pixels. Just like that. And then again down to black color. Something kind of like that. I might tweak it. Might give it like a couple little, you know, bits down here. Possibly, I don't know. Just to make it look a little more woody, maybe. I'm not sure exactly yet. We can tweak those things. But then this section's gonna tile out like this. Over and over and over forever. So, these aren't meant to be like super clean, perfect walls. Obviously, these are like rough, you know, log cabin walls, so should be okay, I think. Works really well. Thank you. Yeah, I think it should be okay. All right, so we got these two. Essentially now we're just going to create all the variations, so. I'm just going to keep these two separate so they don't get overwritten. All right. So copying what we have on the fence here. So this one's a single post. No extra bits or anything. So we're just going to extend this out. How far do we want to extend to this? And we're going to have this cross here, so... Let's see, I'm just thinking how we want to do this. It's a little tricky. Something like this, probably. This is basically just going to be a center piece that's like by itself, right? Would have it connect up here, but like we'd have like another log sticking out here. I don't know, it's probably fine as it is like that. But we can do a little bit of rounding since it's just by itself. Sort of like that. Keep it as a post. That should be 16. I guess I should have knocked this back down here. Just like that. Alright, next one is rounded on the bottom, but connected up at the top. So again, that should basically just be this, but flat at the top. So we're going to move this guy over. Like this. And then we just copy the top part here. I guess is how we want to do it. Probably make the most sense. We can do more rounding here. Okay. There's the top. Next one is down. So for the down one, it's basically just this. It's not really going to connect anywhere. Just keep that one flat. Like this. Oh, did I just override the, I think I did. Whoopsies. Keep that guy. Move this one way out of here. Yeah, hopefully this works out. I think it'll be fine. And we'll probably do some more, like, whatever, drywall. Normal walls. Maybe brick, too, would look nice. And then we've got, so we got nothing, up, down, now both, which is this guy. Okay, then we move on to the side ones. So we've got one just to the left. Wherever these went. Let's move this guy out of the way. So this one will only be going to the left. This side is going to be rounded off. And I'm pretty sure this is how log cabins work. Really, I guess it shouldn't have a gap over there. Maybe you can even see a little bit of the, you know, white section here. I don't know. Maybe have this flare out. Not flare out, but you know, like that. I think that looks okay. So you can kind of tell that it's like the side. Alright, then we have the same thing, but now it's left and up. So we're going to copy this guy. And this is where it starts to get a little interesting because we're going to basically merge this one with this one. So you have to figure out how that's going to work. Might be easier just to make these walls a little thinner, but we'll make it work. So let's see, how do we want to do this? I think I'm just going to extend this out a couple pixels. Sort of like that. Then maybe sort of merge this section into the top here. I'm gonna have to look at an image of a log cabin or something so I can figure out what this actually looks like. Let's look at that. Log cabin walls. Because at the corners it should be like this, right? Which I guess they're offset from each other, so that's the thing. Just trying to figure out how that would like look. Let me get a closer look at this image. So they're always at the center point of the other one. So I guess this wouldn't really make much sense here. The walls would have to be like completely different. Just trying to think how this is gonna work. First off, this would probably be rounded here. It would go kind of like to a point. Maybe I made this too complicated for myself. Maybe I shouldn't have started with a log wall. I don't know. Let's do this. I'm just trying to figure out how this is gonna make sense. It looks kind of terrible, though. I don't like how it looks. Let's see. Because we also have this wall coming in from this side, too. So, hey, Ryan, welcome in. How's it going? Because this is going to be coming in over here. Let's see, 16 pixels tall. So it's going to go up to here. Because we've got to have... Let's see, let's move this out temporarily over to the side. Now let's just merge this now. Yeah, maybe highlight the top. Something. Because we have, basically, we're butting this wall up against this one. This is how this has to make sense. So we want to have this one over here. Right. Maybe even have this extend more. I mean, something like this is fine. I think it's just this guy is weird. I should have just done what I did over here. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's restart. And then just have this kind of extend out like a diamond. Something like that is okay, I guess. In a real log cabin, you would have the planks like offset. But it's really hard to do that here. Because it would change the height of one of the walls, right? So I kind of have to have them work this way, which is fine. I guess here, this would be the kind of a line there. Did I mess this up? See, how wide should this be? It's a little complicated. So this is the edge of this one. Okay, so this one should have a black pixel right here. Maybe we just make this stuff darker now. No, that just looks worse. I don't know. One option we could do is just have them all connect up. Like this. It's not really what I want to do. Or I guess we could just have this, instead of it being so weird. Like, this could just be a hard cutoff right here. And we can just kind of make it look like these logs are just going underneath this log. Maybe. It's tricky. Of course I start with the worst possible pick. Man. Because normally how I would draw this is like this, right? We have our top log going this way, and then the one underneath would be like a set lower. Like this, because it always goes like in between, right? And then we have our other log kind of down here like this, underneath this log, like this. But I'm just not sure how I'm gonna like do that here. Because this just doesn't look right. Unless I imply that these logs are in between these ones. So I could push this up and kind of have this one here. And then this one would just extend out like normal. Sort of like this. But it doesn't make any sense for this bottom log. That's the kind of the problem here. I guess this bottom log needs to be even more pushed down. Like it should look almost like this. Then would this run in between? Just trying to get it all figured out here. No, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I think what we have to do is this. Let's kind of reset this a little bit. We're gonna grab this log again, push it up to the edge. We're gonna delete all this crap. Grab this. I think I know what we need to do. So we've got this, right? We can grab these logs. Now this one should be, it should be lower. I want it to look like these logs are underneath these logs, I think. Like this. And then we have these logs continue upwards. Maybe even offset these logs a little bit. Like this. So basically what this would look like then when it connects up with the rest of the wall is like, here, let's just go make a new little mess around zone. Of course, I didn't even copy it. I think this is how we want this to look. And really this would just be up till right here. The next wall should be a little bit more straightforward, I think, in terms of design here. Because This is a little wacky. Alright, so now we're going to have this wall that's going to be underneath this one. And of course that one just has a bunch of white, so let's delete all that. And it's going to be underneath this one like this. So it kind of implies this perspective of these logs crossing through here. I think that's going to make the most sense. I know it looks like a mess, but in-game, I think it'll work itself out. We'll find out. So... anyways, moving on. So we had the one facing to the left. Now we have this one, which is left and up. Now we need left and down, which is going to be lovely. Wherever my image is. Awesome. I love forgetting where my stuff is. Okay, it's this one. So let's see here. We want this to be... this guy as a base. Hey, Macaroni, welcome in. How's it going? And then I want this one to go down. So it's going to almost be the exact same as this one, I guess. But maybe we'll have it peek out a little bit over here just because it looks cool. So I think we'll just copy this guy. Make sure that this is at least 16 here. Oh yeah, because it stops here, so that's plenty. And then I just want it to peek out at the top here, I think. Let's see, just a little bit. Sort of like this. I think is what we really need. Maybe we go one more pixel just so it's even. Sort of like this. I know it looks insane, but I think it'll work out. Good, I spent about a week learning about state machines and animation trees. Nice. That's cool. So let's see. Up, down, now both. So literally just this one. When do we get to just the double vertical? Okay, the double horizontal is this guy, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 from the end. So we're just gonna go move this into position now. So it should go right here. Let's remove this. We can get that guy out of the way. So it's easier to tell where we're at. Delete that one. Okay. Yeah, do you have any resources on that? Be interested to hear. Let's see, this one's all good. It's so complicated. So we got to do the both, which we already did here. That's the both one. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's fine. Now we're going to do one just facing to the right. So just like this guy, but just to the right. I hope this actually works out. Well, we're about to find out, I suppose. And do I just straight up... yeah, I guess I do, like this. Should probably just do the same thing that I do on the other ones. But it's fine. Are there any specific ones that have really good vanilla animation trees? Yeah, you're totally welcome to link that in chat. Feel free to. I'm usually pretty okay with links. I mean, as long as it's, you know, from a person that's been in chat before. Probably could have some kind of like auto moderation thing I set up in our overlay that like keeps track of how many times somebody has been in the stream before. You know? And as long as you've actually been here before, then it allows you to put a link or something. Not sure. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to get around that, but we've never really had any issues with the bad links. If there's ever a link somebody posts, I can just, you know, be like, hey guys, delete that link. So it should be okay. So yeah, I guess this is about right. Okay, continuing our madness. So now we need one that connects up as well. So it's almost the exact same as this guy. I'm just gonna copy this. Or no, this one connects up. So we're gonna copy this mess. It should be okay. It should just be the centerpiece. Like that. I think that'll be fine. And this should just be brown. Like so. The only thing I would do here, maybe just to make it look a little nicer, is like curve this guy. You know? We can go back and do that really easily. I just want to get this all drawn so that we can start making tweaks to it. That's really the big thing right now. So that goes to the right and down. Now I got this one, and this one's also going to go up, I believe. Okay, that one goes up. This one's going to go down, which means it has this little bit at the top. And then we copy this guy again because it's the same as the other one. Alright, we're almost there, guys. I have no idea if this is going to look good or not, but we will find out. That's for animation trees, awesome. Yeah, animation trees and state machines are both pretty useful things to know about. I don't use them all the time, but there are some really good use cases occasionally. It was up, down, and right. I'm pretty sure I did that right. Up, down, and right. Then this one is just side to side, like this guy. So now we need a side to side and up. Side to side down. Okay. So it's basically just these, but sides on both. So it should be really easy. I can just copy this middle column. And that's all we need. And this should work. Hopefully. Because that works for side to side up. Okay, side to side connect up should not have the top bit. Then the other one should. Oy. So this one should connect up. This one should not have that little bit at the top. And then lastly, the one that connects to everything. Which, funny enough, is just this guy again. Alright, that should be everything. It's probably gonna look bad, but let's just find out what happens. So let's save this as... what do we want to call this? Log wall. Cabin wall. I'll just call it log wall, I guess. How much is Starground on Steam? It is also, wait, before Fruit Superman, welcome in. Do I use behavior trees? Sometimes it depends. It honestly just depends on the AI I'm programming. But behavior machines in a lot of ways are... Isn't it basically just the same thing as a state machine? I'm not actually sure. How do you describe it? So yeah, state machines are just one thing or another. Behavior trees. Takes 3 leaf nodes iteratively until they reach an action node that specifies an action. Okay. I see. So it's basically just like a state machine, but you have like... It's like a tree like this. Yeah, exactly. Where it just depends. I probably kind of use that same sort of model, not explicitly like that, but I imagine for some of the AI that I do for the different entities in Starground, I probably do that somewhere. So, let's go ahead and copy the fence. And yeah, sorry, Starground on Steam is $15. Or no, not $15, $14. Let me go check. Yeah. But we'll be going on sale for winter for the 18th, so be on the lookout. Call this log wall. Log wall. Oh, where's my log wall? I called it that. Okay, let's try this again. File already exists. Awesome. I love when I search it and it doesn't appear. Godot? What do I do about this? Can I force a refresh? Excuse me. If I change the sorting, is that going to update? What do I do about this? Okay, this is super cool. So it's in the thing, because I can't make another one, but I can't, it's not appearing, so I don't know what to do. It's logwall.scene. Okay, let's just save it. I search log wall. Okay, now it appears. Cool. Whatever. So here's our log wall. We're going to change this name to log wall. And now it's just a simple case of swapping out all these sprites. So sprites, log wall. We have 16 of them. Boom. And then for collision, I think that's all good to go. I do want to offset this sprite. So set that to -16. So it's centered like that. And I think we're good to go. There isn't any information we have to save. It's probably going to connect up with the fences, though, which is something that we're going to have to fix. But it's fine. All right, buildings table. Let's go find our fence building. Starground building. Log wall. Hopefully this works. I'm not going to worry about the sprite right now. Called key building wall. Category is not farming. This is going to be decorations. Let's say it takes 2 wood. Maybe more since it's like big. How does multiplayer with the Godot work? It is a whole process, not gonna lie. But the gist of it is that you have your server and your client. They're sending information back and forth to each other. The server is like, hey, a building was just placed here. Place that same building on your side. So all it really is just sending a bunch of information back and forth saying, do this thing that I just did, just to keep the game synchronized. Yeah, I mean, you can look it up. There's some, honestly, I think the biggest thing I'd recommend is just looking at like Godot documentation, and then there are some good multiplayer peer tutorials on how to set that up. So those are probably the things I would recommend. Yeah, it's complicated, but it is cool. Okay, that one didn't work. Oh, right, because I have to put it there. Forgot. I mean, this log wall is working. Okay, let's go build a house. Like over to our little thing over here again. Break all these old walls. We are about to build the first log cabin in Starground. Get out of here. Seems like it's working. I think we're okay. And then we can have a door set up here and stuff. I think we're good. And it does mean that there's this little, like, section down here where things are half obscured. But I feel like it's okay. It's gonna be kind of a little necessary, probably. See, I don't see any major issues with the tiling. I do think we should clean up or, like, make these look better. Because right now they look a little ugly, but we should be able to do any kind of shape here, right? We can do crosses or do, like, this kind of stuff. This actually works really well as just like a log pile, you know? So that's not bad. Technically it works like that too, because you can just break them and then you have log. I wonder how that little bit, is that like this over here? How does that even work? Oh, because of this. This is the bit. Okay. It's a little funky, I guess, to do the selection because the position of it is down on the ground, right? So trying to mine it here, you're not actually mining the wall, which might be a little confusing. But I think for the most part it works, though. I mean, you can do some cool patterns. You can have like a little entryway thing here. Right? Or even just break those so you have like, so it connects on one side like that. It's not too bad. And I think this for the things there works. So basically it just gives the illusion that these side walls are higher up than these bottom ones, which works. I think that's a good way to do it. See, obviously this texture here is a little too crazy. It would be nice on some of these longer stretches to have an alternate sprite. So like on these side ones, maybe I could throw in another variation or something, just so the pattern doesn't repeat so much. But we could also do that with a shader. That's another option too. So... it's not terrible. I do want to do the door now, because we have that with the fence gate, and that also auto tiles like this. So yeah, you could have a fence inside of your log cabin now. Crazy! Look at that. Yeah, I think this will be alright. It would be nice if there was like shadows here on the edge, which theoretically we could do. Since I have the thing like this. I'm kind of curious to see if this would work. Let's just try it, right? Just have a shadow here. And the shadow wouldn't be very long, because like these ones, should only be 16 pixels high. So to right here, like that. Now in these guys over here, these walls extend, so they would be all the way up. Like that. And these walls extend down, so it'd be flat at the bottom. And then we just copy this little bit here. Like that. These ones are all the way. Now these ones are a little different. That's going to be a shadow on the bottom face, which I guess we'd also do here then. So we could do something like that. But not on that one, not on that one. Then this one we do a 2 pixel shadow. Obviously these are blue right now, but we'll swap it out for a different color. So these ones, we can do a little bit of a shadow here because this is going to be connected to the left. Almost something like this. And then same with this guy too. Oh, and actually we wouldn't do anything on this because, yeah, it's going to have the other shadow here. Or this one, which is just going to be flat across. I mean, shadow like this won't make a huge difference, but I think it would be nice, though. This one's connected on both sides, same with this guy, so it should be like that. And same with this guy. Some of these don't need the shadow, but that's fine. Keep it for now. Now this one, we do want to draw our own shadow like that. But it's connected on the right, so we keep it over there. Sort of like that. Maybe this one we do that. So it looks more like it's underneath there. Then again, same over here. This guy's gonna have a shadow here. It should be like that, I think, or this one would be like that. Now this guy. Basically the inverse of the other one. Which I wasn't really doing one there. We could do a small shadow like that. Okay. Those guys, I think that's all of the shadows, as far as I can tell. So if we save this, we can see those update live in here. Won't make a huge difference, but it might be nice to have a couple shadows here. It would also apply shadows, I guess, like on this case, to this other wall. I don't know if that's good or not. I guess it's fine. I'm just kind of looking around, making sure all these shadows make sense. There might be a couple cases where the shadows overlap, which might do some weird color stuff, but... So we got an ad starting, my apologies. Let's go ahead and try and color these in normal shadow color. So let's select all. Erase. Get our black color. Fill everything in. Save it, and now this is what it looks like. There we go. Which isn't too bad. I think it works. The only spot that's a little funky is right here because the two shadows overlap. But you can't really even tell that much, so I think it's okay. So I think the last thing I want to do is round this sprite right here. Because it really should be the same roundness as the one below. But I guess it would be underneath the other one, so would it even be rounded? I'm trying to think. Well, it would at least have some shadow on the edges here. Like that. I think. Yeah, probably like this. Could even do like that. Might look good. Alright, so let's just copy this middle piece here and go paste it around. And this guy. Except before I start doing all this, I have to fix those two little spots. Now I have to redo it. Also, it's unfortunately messing up our shadows because of the way Krita does copying and pasting. So I have to go through and kind of redo those a little bit. But it's not a huge deal. So hey, welcome in to the stream. How's it going? So I just did the same one. That guy there. Almost there. Yeah, this wall would definitely benefit from having a couple more variations for the vertical and horizontal segments, probably. Just help switch things up. But I gotta try and think of how I'm actually gonna do that. Because the way like all the auto tiling code is in here, it'll only do a very specific variation, so. Let's see, I guess I didn't save it. Save it, see what this new look looks like. Yeah, that's much better. Just kind of rounds it out a little bit more. And then if you just randomly have it in the center, it'll just be like a little thing. I think that works. Yeah. All right. So, let's think here. These ones, these side pieces. How do we want to do that? Because the code for wall here is pretty set. I mean, this is how it calculates its value here, right? It's actually a very clean way of doing this, and it's kind of epic. It's basically binary. Just thinking how we can do random variations. I mean, one easy option is to just swap out the texture that it's actually using. But I don't really know if that's the play. You know, could I just do this? Change this back into a regular sprite 2D. Because this does actually have frames in here. So I could just give this the log wall texture. And then I can tell it how many vertical or how many horizontal frames there are. And now we can just set frame right here. Instead of having to have it be an animated sprite. That's probably just a cleaner way of doing it. Because then I can just swap out this texture for like an alternate variation. So I can just copy all this. Away from clipboard. I know this isn't the most efficient way of doing this, but... So now we've got this guy. And I can just call this log wall 2. And just kind of... I want to do one that has like a line, right? Where like the logs kind of connect to each other and end. Probably. I mean, would the walls end in a log cabin? I'm not sure how that works. Imagine they would eventually. Just so there's some segments where they kind of butt up against each other, I guess. Probably. It's almost like I need this to be a tile map or something, you know? But that's not super efficient. I don't know, it's tricky. I mean, we could try that. But then it uses the auto-tiling system, so it's going to do some weird, nasty stuff. It's probably okay. Let's just make this guy clean down here. Maybe just a little bit of a thing. And then same for the vertical here. I just want to do like an alternate variation. Probably just one without like all the bits. Maybe even have some like inverse bits. Something like that. Now save this as log wall 2. And then in our code for log wall, we'll change this. Is this gonna mess up, like, is this checking for other fences? Like, do I have to search for that? Doesn't look like it, so I think we're okay. Then all I'm going to say in here is just sprite.texture is equal to if randi range 0 to 1 is equal to 1, do one of them, otherwise do the other. Log wall and log wall 2. And I'm just curious to see how that changes this. So obviously these are all going to be broken now. Let's just delete them. Let's see what happens. So if I place down our log walls, they do work. It just randomly chooses which one. But it's a little weird. There's just not enough variation. I don't think that... See, because you get that weird issue there. So we have to kind of undo that. Just make this a flat, smooth log. Maybe I need to, like, counteract the roughness of the other ones, so just get it super smooth. Or at least relatively super smooth. Just keep all that there like that. And honestly, maybe same with the vertical. And just save that, see what that looks like. That's definitely better. It just adds a little more variation to these logs. But there's just not enough variation. I wish that I could do this in a different way. because I don't want to have to create a new texture because I'm like duplicating my file sizes over and over, because we don't need variations on all these other little middle bits and stuff. I want those to all be the same, but it's just for these two, the vertical and the horizontal. So I'm just trying to think if there's another way I could do this. I mean, I guess instead of choosing those, I could just choose... I could pick a random offset. Or just pick a random index. I guess that would be okay. Instead of wall, when I do set texture, I get tile value. I'm not really sure. But I guess this does work for now. It's maybe not ideal, but... So we could create yet another variation. We can call this guy logwall3. Just add some bits and stuff on here. And same with up here. I want to do some bits. Alright, let's save this. Any ideas how to make my game feel more alive? I think there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, what kind of game are you making? That's important to kind of know that. Let's do now 0 to 2. It's equal to 0. If let's say var rand is that. So rand is 0, if rand is equal to 1. Let's do that. Probably rand logwall3. So we'll see if this works. Break all these again. An MMO that takes place on floating islands, yeah. So for that kind of thing, I presume that it's is it a 3D game? Or 2D? That does look quite a bit better now with all those variations. Isometric 2D? Okay. I think a big thing is, of course, some of the biggest things I feel like are sound. Sound really livens things up. Like, even if it's just basic stuff, like having just some ambient birds chirping and nature sounds in the background really adds a lot of, like, immersion to a game. You don't really think about it very often because it just blends in so well, but when there is no, like, soundscape in the background, I think it's really obvious. It's like, wow, this sounds very, you know, dead. There's nothing going on here. So that's definitely one big thing I would say. Did I accidentally do the exact same wall? Oh, I almost did. Another thing I would say is, like, if you have NPCs and stuff, making them have, like, routines can help a lot, where they actually, like, navigate around the world and do stuff. That's something that they do a lot in Stardew Valley. Like, all of the NPCs in Stardew Valley have a schedule. Like, certain people work at certain places and stuff. Sometimes simulating stuff like that can help. Especially for, like, an MMO kind of thing. What are these little bumpy guys? Oh, I just need to update it, don't I? There we go. Okay, I feel like that looks mostly okay. Then I want to do some other kinds of walls. I want to do like a brick wall, which is going to be way easier to design than this wall, so it'll be fine. Recorded some mellow guitar tracks. Haven't done any sound effects. Yeah, sound effects is huge. I think sound is one of those things that always gets forgotten about, but it's like, to me, what makes or breaks a game's immersion. Sound effects are huge. Just little things, any little thing that happens in the world, adding a sound effect really helps, you know? Like, I don't know. Walking, like footstep sounds, birds chirping, ambient sounds. Another big thing that can help too is just motion. If everything is perfectly static and nothing is animating or doing anything, things can look very just like, you know, boring. So I always like to do idle animations in Starground for a lot of things. Like the crafter here, he's moving around and he's doing stuff even though he's idle. A lot of these buildings and stuff have that kind of thing. Just stuff like the water on these moving up and down is another big thing. There's also a couple other little effects I have in here, like butterfly particles here. They just kind of flap around. They don't do anything, but I think it really helps make this feel like an actual, you know, environment. Also, another big thing is tree swaying, like foliage moving around with the wind. Wind is something that really helps too. It's super easy. You can find a shader for this kind of stuff on Godot shaders, but just doing a little bit of sway to your trees and stuff really helps too. So I think the big things always to keep in mind with making stuff feel alive is sounds, motion, which motion kind of also, I would say, is NPCs having routines and moving around and stuff. And I think another big thing too, I'm just thinking here. This kind of goes more into designing your environments, but I think if you're creating like a town, for example, the shopkeeper and stuff, I think little decorations and it should look well lived in. You know, if you are, let's say that we're drawing a building or whatever. Here's our little cottage, right? It's like top-down view. You got your chimney. Also, particles are another big thing. Like if there's a chimney on a building or something, make some smoke particles coming out so it looks like it's actually being used. I think it's really important to make this stuff look like real, like people actually live here. Sometimes it's easy to fall into a trap of just placing down a bunch of buildings and then calling it a day. But stuff that really makes this feel good is like put up like a fence around this building or something, you know? Fences and stuff, you could add some crates, some barrels, you know, outside of his place. Little clutter, right? Clutter is kind of important. And then also pathing. Obviously, you probably have paths, but, you know, make sure that there's actually, like, paths to these things. I think that always really helps a lot. And yeah, foliage is another big thing. I mean, there's so many little things that you can do. Honestly, there's not, like... I don't think making stuff feel alive or immersive is just the secret one little feature to add on that fixes everything. I think it's just a combination of everything. Like, it's all the little tiny things that start to add up and make it look lived in and alive. Thank you for all the beans. But hopefully that helps. Those are all just things that I've noticed while developing stuff, you know? So, and I try and do most of that in Starground. I should do it more, but I don't know. Speed. Anyways. Man, my keyboard right now. Let's go. So I want to do a door for this thing. So maybe we do that now. So I notice sometimes there's little gaps in between these walls. I don't think it's a huge deal though. Yeah, you can make this place feel like a pretty nice little home in here, you know? You add some carpet down and stuff. You get some decorations in here. You could have like a little Christmas house. You know, you got presents around the tree. Snowman in the front. Some plants. I would like to actually start adding in like real furniture and stuff because I think that'll help. Like a chair, a table and stuff. So probably do that. Also, Googlebo, you said SFX are hard to make. One of the things I recommend heavily with doing sound effects is just go find pre-made sounds online. I highly recommend Free Sound. All of the sounds there are, well, free. And you can just take those and tweak them and modify them a little bit and stuff, and I think it always works pretty well for me for making sounds in Starground. Potatoable couch? Portable couch? So she could be here the whole time. Epic. So I think on these end pieces I might make it so they're like more... Oh, why can I grip these? Oh, I probably lost its ID. I might make it so they look like this thing. Have a little extra log at the edge. Because otherwise they're going to be shifting around, yeah. But it's really easy to do that. Just go back into Krita. But then this is the problem again with having all these other variations, is I'm going to have to do it on every single one, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. For example, let's just grab this guy here. And let's do this for the single. Get rid of that guy. Because this is how you actually have to stack these logs in real life. You can't just, like, hope and pray. They have to be supported. Otherwise, it's all going to tumble. So like that, for a single stack, makes sense. And then for these guys, it's basically just like this. And I gotta redo all the shadows, because they're getting funny. But since this one is facing down, you just get rid of the knob at the top. And that should be it. And then this one facing up is gonna be like this guy. And I think that's it. So now I'm gonna have to redo every single log, which is super fun. I'll just redo these guys. Because what variation is this? This is just log wall. Let's resave it. And then just open up all our log wall variations. Made 2 sound effects, and I was mining and walking. Just hit a rock with a hammer to make a mining sound effect. Yeah, that totally works. And like I was saying, I think it's, you know, use assets for sounds. That's the one thing that I actually use. Like, I don't ever use art assets. The only art assets I ever use are my own. But specifically for sounds, it's really hard to record sounds. Just because you have to have the right equipment and be in the right location and everything, so, and have the right items around you to be able to generate the sound. So I just think, you know, take sounds on Free Sound and merge them together, and that works pretty well for me. Okay, this should update now with all the new end pieces. There we go. Yeah, I just like that look better. Because now if you just put a single log down, which of course it didn't work. Okay, I need to fix that. I hate having all these other sprite sheets for these logs. I gotta figure out a different way to do this, because it's just kind of a mess. I don't like it. Now log 1. Okay, log 1 does have it, so we're fine there, but yeah, it's annoying. Also, yeah, we gotta fix all of our shadows. They're quite funny right now. I've been playing Isaac Run for 2 hours. Let's go. Alright, replace all this. Let's get it all normal again. Oh, delete that guy, delete that guy, delete that guy. Otherwise, all these should be good. I think that's actually... Oops. Okay. Little bit quirky. That one's weird. Okay, but this should be fine now. For real. Well, delete. Replace. Well, deselect, save. Okay. So that's one wall. I want to do a couple other variations. I want to do a brick wall. I think it would be nice to have some bricks. Bricks in Starground, though, are not red, which is quite unfortunate. Maybe I'll just make the bricks red. I don't know. But they're not made from clay. They're made from stone. They're more like cinder blocks, like concrete bricks. So we'll just do gray. Also, I think for a lot of these decorations and stuff, I want these to be unlocked via dungeon or a shopkeeper. One of the two. Also, my room's freezing. Why am I continuing to run? Oh, my keyboard? What is going on? I can't stop moving. What's going on? Help! What is actually happening? Did my keyboard just die? My controller's not connected. What is going on? Okay, I'm just gonna quit. That's super funny. I swear if it's still happening. Oh my god. What is going on? I can't stop walking. It's like something's wrong with my keyboard. Help! I'm getting phantom input. Okay, that was really weird. I don't know what happened there. I've never had that happen before. Just have to straight up relaunch everything, I guess. I don't think there's any other inputs on my computer right now. Unless my down arrow is like stuck or something, maybe. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not really sure. Okay, we're good. Also, for some reason, this did not properly draw the pixels on the minimap, so it's a little weird. I'm not sure why it did that. Why it didn't do that, I guess. It is quite odd. Is it thinks these weren't valid buildings? I mean, maybe that's the problem. It's really strange, though. Oh, yeah, I just didn't do any of them. That's the problem. It's probably because it doesn't have a building ID here. That's my guess. So let's call this Starground. Ooh. Oh. Building log wall. Try that. Why do I have a synchronizer on this? Is that just for position? Must be. There we go. Now it's properly doing it. Alrighty. So, let's see. Still need to do the door. I I want that to be 2 blocks wide, probably. Well, how's that 2-block door gonna work, though? That's the only problem. We'll just do a normal door. I think we'll just do a regular old wooden door. It's gonna have 2 rotations. So 32 by 32. I did just create a new one, right? I think it's because I did copy from clipboard, whatever. Okay. Alrighty. So I guess like this. Let's do our grid. All right, so we'll have our front-facing door. Boom. And then our vertical door, which is going to be like this. And give this one like, I don't know how thick this needs to be. Let's do something like that. I mean, technically, this would make more sense, I guess. But that implies it's like a square, right? Ah, we'll do like that. And then I guess are these going to have open variations? Am I going to make it so the player actually has to open the door physically? Or is it just going to be like, you know, like the fence gate where you just phase through it? What do you guys think? Which one would you prefer? It's going to be the doorknob. Don't know how I'm going to draw a doorknob. Guess like this. Something like this. And this will be a good old American door. So we're gonna have these little things, whatever you call those. Cool door, thank you. Let's do this, just so it's away from the side a little bit. I think these are 2 different lengths. This one is 10 pixels, and this one is not 10 pixels. 8. Yeah, they should be like this. But it doesn't leave us much room. Doors work. My doors in real life are like, they have another little segment on top. Like this. So maybe I'll do that. They're not made out of wood. Well, they are, but they're white. They're not brown. But it's fine. I'll move the handle down. So now how tall are these? 8, 9. Good enough. We'll do that. Alright, so the way these doors work is they have... These are going to be bright. Then you immediately have another, let's see, another bright segment here. And then a dark segment. Just trying to think how I can get this illusion across. I don't really like that though. Because they have like the center segment like that. I guess that's how I'll do it. I guess it makes sense to have these at the top. I wonder what doors look like in other countries. Do your guys' doors look like these, or are they different? Then let's see. Yeah, I don't actually know which rotation this one is. I guess for the opening of these, could they just swap back and forth between these sprites? Like, I'm not sure. But it has to hinge on one side, so it doesn't really make sense. But I could use basically these same sprites. Okay. I think I'm going to change how these work. So the height on this is going to be 40. Well, let's go up to 48. And the width, I'll give each one 32. So it'll be like this. Ignore all this garbage. Now we'll make the grids like this. And this is just so I can give these doors space to actually animate and open. So. Let's see, that one's 8 pixels, 8 pixels. So we're good there. And there's the side door. Place it right around there, I think. 12. Oops, that's 13. That's 13 also. 13. Okay, I guess it's just 13. How does that make sense? I guess that's fine. 32 minus 13 minus 13 leaves 6 in the center. Okay. So let's see. Might give it a little thing like that. So it's easier to tell the shape. And I just want to do that for the handle. Sure. How do I want to do the doorknob? I guess like that. The little white speck. Then we can shift the position and stuff. Probably a little higher. Now, of course, we gotta flip it to the other side. Yeah. Alright, so these are the closed variations. And then we have to have our open variations. So height, we're going to double. So this one will start as closed, and then down here become open. Let's see, what's the distance from the top? It's 8 pixels. Let's change our thing to 48. So this should be 8 pixels from the top. See, that's 8 pixels right there, so up by 1, and I think we're good to go now. Looks like this is aligned. So this will be the animation for the front door opening, and then the side door opening is basically just this animation. But I might actually flip this and then just have this open. I'm only gonna have doors open one way. I don't think it really matters. I could like change the way it opens depending on the side that you opened it from and stuff, but I don't know. Does it really matter? Now, the only thing I missed on this is we have to do hinges. Can't forget our door hinges. Yeah, I just realized that every time I draw a side door, I only have one knob. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not that hard to go through and add those on. Let's see, so how do hinges look? There's 2. No, there's 3. Something like that. Let's see what I want this to stick out. I'm not really sure. Well, hinges are usually on the outside like that. That would be fine. We can make it work. I think they all need to be shifted up. So I think I am going to make it you actually click on this door. The fence gate maybe makes more sense that you don't have to click on it just so it's not annoying, but this is like specifically for like a house or something. I don't know. It's fine. We'll see. I might backtrack on that idea, but I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to actually interact with the door. So I think that's everything we need. So let's save this as wooden door. And now we have to add it into the game. Got the log wall set up. I'm going to hold off on doing all the other variations for now. I'll just make the base one simple so it doesn't look too annoying and noisy. So let's close all these other, don't care. Log wall 2, don't care. Log wall 3. Let's open up log wall 1. Let's actually just delete these 2 others. Open the autosave file. Alright, so for these guys, I think I'm just going to make it kind of like not so distracting. Just a very simple... Like this, I feel like, is a little too crazy for the side here. Like with all this stuff going on. I want to make it just more of like a simple wave kind of thing. Sort of like that. Something that isn't so distracting. Maybe that can have like a little bit of a thing. That's probably better. Yes, replace log wall. All right, so we got the wooden door. I don't know why I gave it a white background. That's super cool. All right, let's go add this in now. And we're gonna have to go through and organize the position in the building menu. Wooden door. And the sprite icon, we're not going to worry about that right now. We'll make this take quite a bit more wood and also maybe a little bit of copper. Like 1 copper ingot. Okay, so it's basically just going to be the exact same thing as the fence gate. Call it wooden door. And I hope it actually shows up. Okay, it does. Rename this to wooden door. Now we're going to swap out the sprite. See, how do I want to do this? I might just do this as two separate sprites, possibly. Maybe. Once I just know the order, which would be fine. Oh, do I just do the same stuff as the... It's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, I do. Do I do that the exact same way with the stone wall also? Is that a different wall code? No. No. Okay, but I just override set texture to simplify it, specifically on the stone wall, so... Tolerance required. Main theme sounds like elevator music. It does, honestly, yeah. You are totally correct. Okay, but this one does use all four directions, which... Do I really need to do that? I don't know. So let's see, we have set texture in here. I'm just going to override it. Call this wooden door. It will extend wall. What is that sprite in here? Don't worry about it. It's fine. So I'm just going to completely override this. Kind of do basically the same thing I do with the stone wall. Just simplifying it a lot. Because this is what this one does. Connect signals. If down is a wall. So that should work. So now I just know the orientation. I'm going to call this actually a class name door. And then rename this script. Because this is probably going to be reused for everything. For any kind of door. Let's just call this... Ooh, I can't call it door. Uh-oh. What do I call this? I already have a thing called door. Script called door. I'll just call it a.gd for a minute. I believe that the door.gd script, I could rename it to dungeon door. I don't think it'll cause any corruption. That would suck if it did. It's probably okay. I think it's okay. Now we can rename this one to door. Oops. Alright, so for door, we just need to keep track of whether it's open or not. It'll be closed by default. And I need to synchronize its current state of being open or not. We have exclusive interact. So this will be ran on the server. I'll just say function set state, which is also an RPC. So for the server, we're going to say set state.rpc. And we're going to say whether we're open or not. And then we say open is equal to new open and say set texture again. Just to update the texture. Unexpected. Oh. Alright, so when we interact with the door, we're just going to toggle. We say open is equal to the opposite of whatever it was. We set our state, which will set our texture and everything. Or we can just say that. Actually. Yeah. Then this is where we handle all that. So if beneath us is a wall, we can just say... And I guess I have to know what is the actual sprite and stuff. Let's hold off on that for a second. We can set our frame here. Something like this. Yeah. So if we are, let's look at our sprite and stuff. We're going to change this away from being an animated sprite into just a sprite. We're going to load it with a texture, door, wooden door. Give it our things here, our frames. So now you can see this cycle through the frames. Which, that seems whack. How's it doing it? I thought it would go from top left to... Oh, it does. I'm just a little bit silly. We're going to change the way this works. So instead of this being like that, we're going to do that and make it vertical because I just like having this stuff vertical more. Before we do that, let's not corrupt everything. 128 and 48. Okay. Now we paste these goobers back in. Get our 32 grid. These should all be at the same height. And then we need to figure out where... Oops. This guy's supposed to be aligned. I don't know. But I know it's supposed to be over to the edge. It probably should be like that. Let's figure this out. Oh my god, Krita, stop. Okay. And actually, this is just... Let's just make this one open normal. Let's see, what's the distance away from here? 8 pixels, and this one is 6. It's actually fine if it shifts over 2. It'll probably look better. Now this one goes in the center because that's the closed sprite. Then we figure out where this guy needs to be. Make sure it's in the center. 13, yeah. So that one's 13 away, which is a little too far. Let's have that be right there. So I think that'll work. Let's try it out. And it's gonna freak out. Let's fix the offset. The offset. instead of minus 16 like that. All right, so we have our closed door. We open it. Door is open. Which it is a little funny that it actually doesn't lengthen. Something I might fix. Then we have our closed door. Boom, open. I think I do need to change the length of the down door a little bit. Because it just looks odd. Let's drop it by 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels. It'll probably be fine. If it looks weird, we can fix it. And also, I feel like the knob should also go down then. So let's just select these and... up, 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 something like that. Check it, guys. Door. Acquired. So watch this. Closed, boom, open. Closed, boom, open. All right. So on layer 3, we're also going to add it to layer 1, but we're going to dynamically change that collision shape, so that's what we do in set texture. All right, so if down is wall, that means we're the horizontal version. So it should be 2 and 3, then this is 0 and 1. Or it should be inverse, actually. And that should be it. Now the final thing is setting our collision shapes. So we're going to say set collision layer. Or I don't know why it doesn't let me. Right, that's why. It's fine. We can say self dot. What is it? Isn't this a static body, or is this just a node? Oh yeah, it's just a node. It's fine. I've had this issue before. We just go into here and check the function. Which I guess this is from a collision object. So we can say set collision layer value right here. And we're going to set 1 to false. And down here we set it to true. How do I do this again? Can I not just say that? I've dealt with this before, I just don't remember how to do it. Didn't I do this inside of the airlock? Body. I'm trying to remember how I do this. Or I guess I don't do that in the airlock. Man. I could just say body is equal to self. Then say body that's that collision. Like that would work. It's a little hacky, but you know what? It's fine. Okay, so I think hopefully this works. Let's try it out. You should be able to build it now. No, my headphones. Okay. Watch this, guys. You won't believe your eyes. It's probably gonna crash. It might, actually. We're about to find out. That looks pretty door-like to me. It does feel a little like thin. I might just make it hang over on the edges a little bit more. Anyways, let's go try it over here now. And of course we add some sound effects and stuff to it. So since it's detecting a wall over here, it should be flipping vertically, but it's not for some reason. Why is that? Down. Down should be a wall. 0, 1, 2. If it's closed, then if it's open. Let's just see if it's detecting that. So it's not, some reason it's not saying that this is a wall over here, even though it is. I don't know why that's doing that. Because all these are all set to collision layer 3. Let's just see what down is. Okay, it's just saying it's a null object. It's probably just because it's not, like, updating. Yeah, like this stuff with start checks. And then it does this. But I wonder why it doesn't update itself when I open and close it. That's kind of weird. Right, like if I go like this, it still thinks it's just nothing. Guys, I don't know what's going on. Is it because that other one isn't a wall? Wouldn't make any sense. Let's try the stone wall. No. Let's try with a fence. That one doesn't work either. I don't know what's going on with that. What do I do about that? So it gets a raycast update on down here, and that's set to mask 3. Exclude parent. It's gonna force a raycast update. Oh, duh. It uses down, not up. So it should be like this. Now I can do it. I'm just stupid. So if I now put that against like balls like this, now it works properly. I don't like how that rotation looks. It looks like it's not going out far enough or something. That's actually a little odd. Because that's, oh yeah, that's actually way too little. Should be like that much. Let's let it update. Boom, there we go. So that works okay. I mean, it works. And then if we have another door like this, opens and closes like this. And that one I might make this door just go a little bit down. Possibly like that. So it's a little more obvious that it's going down. Opening down or whatever. Come on, update, won't you? There we go. I think that works pretty well. What do you guys think? Then obviously we're gonna add in a sound and stuff, which is gonna matter a lot. But yeah, these doors are meant to just be sort of more decorative than anything, because like it's gonna be kind of like this, the log cabin. I mean, it is a small door. I might increase the size of the door to be like larger, and then make it so you can just manually rotate it instead. Because you can do that with these, right? That's kind of how those work. So maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. Because they are extremely tiny. It makes more sense for something like these since they're only 1 block tall. It's like easier to handle or whatever. With these ones, since you are clicking on them, I feel like it just kind of blends in with the wall too much, right? I feel like if it was like a larger area to click on, it would be way easier. So maybe we'll do something like that. Just thinking how that's going to work, because yeah, I would have to do a separate collision shape for each rotation. Like this. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. But the only thing is it's going to be weird. It's going to be like how the splitter is, because it has a different size given the rotation. So that's basically exactly how it's going to be. It's going to be like that when I place it down. But I've done it with the splitter. I can do it again. So let's go copy whatever settings we did for that. We just have these. I might have some code maybe just to specifically do it for the splitter. I'm not sure. Or maybe I just do that when object size is not the same. That's probably what it is. Because yeah, I want to make this door big. And I might give it kind of like a frame, so it's not just a random door. Like, let's experiment. So if we have like a little 32 by 32 area, I do like the verticality. We could just like do this. Like boom, boom, boom. Just make it wider. Might look a little funny, but it'll be easier to go through. So something like this. And then, let's see, this is just nothing. Fix this right here. I just feel like that's a better shape. I don't know. Then we can give it sort of a frame on the outside, probably. I guess we need to increase the vertical height, which is fine. This is resize canvas to 48 by 48. Man, that's super messed up. I just want to get this sort of like design down, because if we're gonna do doors, I want them to feel good to use. Maybe we literally just do something like this. Give it like a door frame, you know? Sort of like this. Is this 32 across? No, it's not. Oops. Let's fix that. Give it a little bit of our anti-aliasing magic. And I want this to extend just a little bit. It'll be a little bit more work now to design our door, but it's not a huge deal. I think it'll look better in the long run. Alright, so this is our sprite. We can just keep it centered here like this. It should be fine. Then making the open variation and stuff I think should be a lot easier now. So let's resize our canvas again. We're just going to do 48 times 4. Should be 192. Excuse me. But we're going to make this a 1x2. So even though the sprite extends past that, but that's just so that we can make it kind of, you know, move around. All right, so this guy's going to be the open sprite. Just going to have it extend all the way down like this. I keep messing it up though. Now this can all be hollow in here. Let's give this a top. Which I don't know how long it should be, but maybe something like that. And we have to do the knobs again. But I kind of just want to see what this looks like first. So the only thing here is the door wouldn't open like this, would it? Because the hinges are on like the back of it or whatever, so I guess technically they're not flat up against it. Because when you open a door, the edge of the door actually swings out of the door frame like this, and you won't see the hinges anymore. Door mechanics. I think it would work like that, yeah. So yeah, this should be ever just so slightly taller than 32, which is good. All right. And then basically the same thing for the other side. But smaller. Simple. Let's make sure there's in the center. 21. 21. Give this some length along here. I guess on this one I can push this up. Just to make it look a little taller. That would probably be right. So that's our closed variation, and then the open variation is going to be just the other door. Ah. Yeah, I think this will just be a little bit easier to select and stuff. So it's literally just going to be this door. But now it's flipped. And it's going to be somewhat near the top. And I guess the thickness of the door is like this. It's a thick door. So this would be correct, right? We have it opening, I think, about there. We'll experiment with this and see, but yeah, I think this is just going to be better. Wooden door. Oops. Quite a bit larger and just easier to see. Yes, replace it. Oh, image is busy. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Okay. Now it's fine. Probably have that other door open. Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's try this new door tech out. We're gonna go down to building wooden door. Or first up to the splitter. We're gonna copy the same object size. Set it to 2 by 1. Door. And then for the sprites, we have to do the same thing we do for the splitter up here. All these things. Okay. Now we're gonna copy this. And we need to do some crazy offsetting on this because it's not going to be like this. Wooden door side preview. Just call this horizontal. And then go copy this guy. E40 to 48. Call this wooden door vertical preview. PNG. Alrighty. So I think the splitter has a variable called like direction or something that I need to use for this. Let's go look inside of the splitter. I think it's called just var dir. Yeah, dir right here. So we're going to use that in the wooden door. And I guess, do I synchronize that? Let's go see. I guess I must. Yeah, direction and position. And then it also probably saves that information. Yeah, direction. This door's becoming a headache. It's not that bad. Direction, I believe that's on never. Let's go see. Might be on change. No, it's on never. Okay, so now we got a direction variable saved on the door. We can figure everything out that way. So we don't even really have to do any ray casting or anything since we're just manually defining our texture. So it doesn't even really make sense for this to extend wall anymore. I think it'll just extend buildable. Just make this function update. And now we don't have to worry about any of this stuff. which really simplifies this code. So we're just gonna say, kind of like with the splitter. Splitter's a little more complicated since it does actually use all the directions, but yeah, I can just do this. I know if it's vertically or not. So function ready, call super. Now I can say if dir %2 is that vertical. I'll just make that a variable. Oops. True. And if I say if it's that, I say horizontal is false. If horizontal, oops, horizontal. And again, copying our code from the splitter, we have code in here to change our collision shape right here. So it's pretty easy. But one thing we have to do is make sure that this rectangle shape, I believe, is local. Yeah, no, it should be. Let's go back into the splitter and make sure. So we look at collision shape, boom, local to scene. So back to the wooden door. Local to scene. So if horizontal, or if not horizontal, we'll do all this stuff. That should be it. So now down here, it's pretty easy. We just say if vertical or if not horizontal. Otherwise, do that stuff. And here we say body is equal to self. Okay, and I think that's basically everything. We still do this stuff the exact same and updating and setting its state and opening. So it should be okay. And the sprite, I think, is the same. It's just 4 still. And you can see the position is lined up correctly. Because when it's on frame 0, that's what it should be. So I think we're all good. The only thing is this shape now should be... Let's make sure this is unique. 32 wide like this. A wide guy. Some kind of wide guy, huh? Okay. We ready to try this new door out, guys? I think we're ready. The second ever oblong building in Starground. It's insane. Wait, no, that's not true. The refiner is oblong. But you can't rotate it. So the second ever rotatable oblong building. Also, oh, we have to close the game again. I forgot something. Forgot to actually do the directional sprites. Super fun. Once the game decides to do stuff and stop dying. Uh-oh. Good no. Excuse me. Guys. We might be cooked. Oh, it's fine. It'll work out in the end. Yeah, it's gonna have splitter previews, so this should be wooden door, horizontal preview, and then alternate between those two. Let me do a vertical preview because it's 4 directional. All right, watch this. You will not believe your eyes. It's gonna be incredible. Once it loads. Come on. Come on, let's load. Okay. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but I'm interested in seeing what happens. I didn't set the position offset properly, so I know it's not gonna work. But it's okay. We'll correct that. At least as the build preview is gonna look stupid. So you can see it's not gonna be in the actual position it needs to be. You can see right there. What? What just happened? Yeah, I'm just gonna save horizontal. Open, it should be 1, otherwise 0. Otherwise, if it's vertical... Oh, it's because I didn't actually set this to update at the beginning, did I? Otherwise, if it's open... Let's try this out again. Door, horizontal, but it thinks that it's vertical for some reason. So that's a little weird. Why is it doing that? So, I guess it's just saying this right here. Did I change the default orientation of the splitter? I think I did. Maybe that's what's happening here. So actually that one's supposed to start at the vertical orientation. Yeah. So if we go back up to the splitter, because preview right, then down, that's what's happening here. So it should be vertical, then horizontal, then vertical, then horizontal. Like that. So if I place down a vertical door... Okay, I can't even rotate it for some reason. I don't know what's going on, guys. But it works. But also it doesn't work. Okay, it's just a little funky. Let's restart the game. Let's try this again. I want this door to work, guys. You have no idea how important this is to me. The collision shaped are normal. Alright. Not this again. Why am I stuck moving down forever? I don't know what's going on with that, guys. It's a little annoying. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, hitting rotate doesn't do anything. Is it because I forgot to actually say it's rotatable? Maybe that's what's going on here. I think I didn't say can rotate is true. Whoops. I don't know why that thing happens where I'm just moving down forever. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's just some weird phantom input thing happening. I don't know. It's really annoying though. Maybe it's like when I press a key as the game's loading or something, it just permanently thinks I'm pressing that. Or maybe I just have something else connected to my computer. Oh. I have an idea of what it could be. My steering wheel connected to my computer right now. I think it might be receiving input from that right now and making me move down forever. So I just unplugged it. I'm gonna try this again. Door, I can rotate it. So let's check like the collision stuff. So I can place it there, but not there. The collision shape seems good. So let's click and place it. Click and place another over there. That seems good. Now, position-wise, this one's correct. But this one's a little weird. It's like not actually in the center of the two tiles, as you can see. But I think that can be alleviated pretty easily. I think it's just because I'm a little silly guy. And I made the door weird for some reason. It should just be like that, I think. No. Shouldn't be. Should be like that. Why is it offset weird? Let's look at this image here. So if I rotate this, boom, and I also rotate my physics, what I should be doing is actually adjusting my Y offset back to 0, I believe, or maybe to -8. All right, so we're gonna say if vertical in here, main sprite dot offset dot y is equal to -8. But it's gonna cause issues with like my sprite stuff. So how am I gonna do this? Have I been working on deadlift off stream? I have been. We've been mostly just kind of in idea mode. I do really want to work on deadlift, but it's just tricky to do that and Starground at the same time. So it's been sort of taking a minor backseat right now, just until I can get point 15 done. But we'll definitely be focusing on that soon a lot more. So do not fret. I guess this does just have to go to the bottom of the image, which is fine. It's a little weird how this sprite has to be configured, but I think it's okay. But yeah, definitely still working on it. We came up with a couple new enemy ideas and stuff, and just fleshing out like the way the like layer arms and stuff are going to be rendered and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be showing all that off next time we work on the game. All right, so that seems better. So let's see how this works. So that's at the correct position. Then if I rotate it, it changes. Okay, so the way it's basically set up right now is it's putting that door in the center of the tile, but it's wrong. I should set that offset now. Let's go into the buildings table. And grab sprite offset from one of these things. And I should just set that to -16, I think, and that should fix all the offset stuff. We'll see. Unless I just want the door to be in the center of the tile. I'm just not sure. Because I could do that. It would technically make more sense. So maybe I'll do that. Because as it is now, go back to frame 1. Oh, and fix the collision shape too. That's where it lies, which it's a little funky. I can up this offset to -24, or like even a little less, like -22, -21 or something. Let's do -22. So it's kind of like physically in the center of the tile, which maybe is a better thing perspective-wise. Probably. And then how would that look with the other rotation? Because I think this is where we run into our problem. So I am going to have to change the offset, I think, depending on the rotation. It's getting weird. And it's just because of the position of that. I need this to be, instead of minus 22, we add not 8, 6, like that. I want this edge lined up at the bottom. So, I mean, it's pretty easy for me to do that. I can just say in here, set our... I already did that right here. I say main sprite offset Y. Set it to minus 16, otherwise normally it's a minus 22. It's a little bit funky. Then keep that at its regular mode. Okay, we can see what this looks like. Well, that means I need to go into the buildings table and fix the offset again. So that's super cool. But it's fine. So the door, when we're placing it, you can see it's like now... Or I think I did do the correct offset, didn't I? I did minus 24. I did minus 16, what? What is happening here? Then when I actually place it down... Oh my god, it's because I have position. I was like, why is it nothing correct? Okay, so it is actually minus 16 is the offset I want to do. Then what happens if we're in vertical mode? So that's not correct, though. Still do have to change it for vertical mode. So for vertical mode, we'll go to 8. See if that's the correct position. Might have to do 6 or whatever, but we'll see. Okay, anyways, placing this door again. You can see it's in the center of the tile. Boom. That looks correct. Because then if we have walls next to it like this, it probably just works better that way. I mean, it's a little quirky, though. I don't know why it's underneath the walls also. Maybe on ordering we just forcibly put this in front. Because I like how this is framed, honestly. But obviously there's some weird depth stuff going on. Just because of the z-index. I guess we could do that. Okay, so what's the actual offset we want this to? We want it to minus 8. So let's do that. Back into buildings table. Set it to minus 8. And I'll probably just need to change the sprite of the vertical preview just so it looks correct. It doesn't actually have to be like, you know, whatever. We can figure it out. It's gonna be weird though. I guess what I need to do is artificially increase the vertical offset. Because if our normal door sprite is here and we're offsetting it by 8 pixels, which I think is just this, then if this one has the same offset, it's not going down enough. I don't think. We'll see. And it seems like that went down too far. It did. Oh yeah, I did 6, not 8. Alright. Oh, the plot thickens. Let's turn off Y sort on the door. That's probably causing weirdness. Okay, so thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. The offset on this is -8. And that's the correct position that I want in game. Which you can see it does do that. So like this is the correct position. And then if we rotate this door, that is not correct. Also, that one's not correct either. So that needs to go up by like 4 pixels. So actually, we just set the Y offset to 0, I think. Let's see what that looks like. What is going on? Why is the vertical one different? Okay, it's a little funky. Okay, if I use a splitter, how does this work? It goes down. So when I'm placing this door, that's going down. Most of the time. Does this also go up sometimes? It does. Just depends on the position of my cursor. But at least here, it should be going down. So obviously that position is wrong. But for some reason, it's offset not enough. So the only thing I can think of is that my preview image has changed now from this sprite. I think that's what happened. So I need to just copy this again. Go to my preview image. Oh, this is my preview, so no wonder. So I want to change my preview image sprite offset to be 2 higher than it should be. So I want to up this to -10. And that should be correct. But then the vertical one is completely wrong, so that one's like 2. Let's see, what does my vertical look like? It's weird for some reason. Let's just you know, crop it. Yeah, let's do this, crop it to that, and then I want to increase the bottom height up to 48. Like that. And I think that will be the correct, you know, one. Because, yeah, it should just be like this door. If I want it to actually be, like, proper. Might have to change this sprite, though. It's really hard to say. Come on. Stop that. Okay, what's the distance? 19... 20. Whoa. Let's try that again. What is it? Shift T? What's the score select? Control R. 21. 21. Alright, so we got that one. It's all correct. This one, it doesn't matter if it's a little off. Let's just save it. Now let's try this again. That's set to -10. So I'm probably going to have to change the preview sprite around a little bit just so it positions itself properly, but it's fine. I know it's all weird, but we're getting there. Turn off the Y sorting, so that should fix that issue. Hey. Sound terrible. Okay. Door. Horizontal, boom, perfect. Vertical, not perfect, but it's closer. So if I want to shift it down by a pixel, I need to increase the vertical height by 2 pixels. So we want to take the vertical height of this sprite and increase the height by 4 pixels. +4. Boom. And theoretically, if my calculations are correct, now this should be lining up properly. We gotta wait for it to update the sprite. There it goes. So yeah, look at that. Now it's actually properly aligned to the 2 right there. But you can see when I place it, that is not properly aligned. Because it's the wrong... The offset, the vertical offset needs to increase. Do I just keep the same vertical offset now? Maybe I fixed it. Nope, the offset needs to go to 8. Which I already have it set to that. So I'm just changing the offset for no reason. Okay, watch this, guys. Boom. Perfect. Door. Door. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Now let's try like placing this in context with the walls and stuff. Break those guys. Break those guys. Break all those guys. Alright. We'll place down our door. Bam. Log wall. Bam. Look at this frickin' door, guys. See, I think the bigger door like this is much better. It's just way easier to get through and select. The other door was a little too small, given like the zoom level of the game. So now we should be able to go back to our cabin over here and plop a door right here. Now look at that beautiful door. See how that works pretty well. Now we can get through here much easier. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Let's just make the door look cool when you open it and close it and stuff. So down in here on update, we're gonna say shake x is equal to 2. And you can see what that does. Well, what it should have done. I don't know why it doesn't work. I'm calling super there. Is there another function in here called update? No. It should be like shaking when I set that value, but it doesn't seem to actually work. So I don't know why. Because I'm pretty sure that's what I do in all these other buildings, right? I'll give shredding. Shake X. That's kind of odd. Extends buildable. Oh, it's probably because I haven't actually given it a proper ID. So let's say Starground building wooden door. And now hopefully that'll be good. Do you know how to work a Google Sheet? I have it subtracting 1 from 2 and it's giving me a date. That's odd. I have messed with Google Sheet stuff before with like the translations in Starground. I think it might be, you have to set a format. I think if you go to format up here, you can tell it what kind of like thing that you want. So just stop it from doing automatic. And if you're trying to do math, you can go to format and say number and do like, choose what kind of number you're doing. It's probably just on date mode right now, but you can change that to like regular numbers like this. I would just do that. And I think that'll fix the issue. So then if you do 1 minus 2, it should... Ooh. It should, you know, do it properly instead of thinking that you're trying to do a date or whatever. But let me know if that works. I'm not sure if that's how you do it, but I'm pretty sure. It's likely. Okay, so this building has an ID now. Let's also make sure the log wall has an ID and stuff. Start building log wall. So I think we're good to go. Also, that should not have 5 hit counts. It should be like 2. Did, thank you. Awesome, cool. Yeah, happy to help. Yeah, I've had that issue before. And this should also be like 2 hit count on the door. Maybe a little more on the door, like 3. Alright, I think door has been added. And this door works pretty universally for any kind of wall type, I imagine, because it could work for the log wall like this, but also probably more of a regular stone brick wall or something that we add. I do want to do a stone brick wall, so I didn't realize what time it was already. Man. It's kind of crazy. So thank you for the spin, Removes. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I'm spending forever on this stuff, but this is the first door like this that we've ever added into the game. So I'm kind of specifically just spending a little bit more time making sure the mechanics of this work, because I'm probably going to be duplicating this code for all of the doors, right? But I think it'll be worth it. Yeah, it still doesn't do the shake. I don't know why. It should be running this code. You can see. Oh, I forgot. You have to do it a specific way now. You have to say start hit shake. I'm just silly. There we go. Now it just does that little wobble when you open and close it. It just adds a lot of oomph. I like 1 like that. And let's give it a sound for when you open or close it. Not an audio listener. Come on, bruh. Audio stream player. Duplicate that. So this is open. This is close. And I don't think we need any of these raycasts anymore in here, so we're just gonna delete those guys. Cool. So, pretty easy now. Down here, we just say... I'm going to give this a randomizer, because it's just easy. I can avoid doing more code. So now, if open, we're going to play open. And then this is close. Oops. Oh, don't play the function close. I'm a silly guy. I'm this little guy. Okay. So I think we're good to go. I have to make sure update does actually happen as an RPC. Also, I have to say, like, I have to do another thing in here. Oh, this is already an RPC. That's why update is not an RPC. I'm messing up everywhere, guys. Yeah. Also, I have to make sure that this open status is synchronized. Okay. I think this should work. Now we have to create sounds, which is super cool. We might already have... Do I have a sound for this already? Like a door sound? I don't. I want to hurry and get this done. I have to go. Dinner. Come on, free sound. Come on. I don't know why free sound sometimes just like crashes out. Seems like it's happening right now. God dang it. This happens all the time with free sound. I don't know if it's just because this is my... I'm pretty sure that's a server error. I'm just getting no network activity here. Must just be returning 403 from the server. So free sound is down right now, I guess. Which sucks. So user not found. Thank you for the speed. So that's cool. I'll work on the door noises another time, unfortunately, because free sound is gone. But yeah, the doors in the game. I'll probably add in a couple different other types of doors. Like maybe I want to do a door that's not wooden. More of like a door you would see in like an industrial setting. So thank you for the follow, Rod White. I appreciate it. Door. Maybe more of like a business door. Something you would see in like a warehouse. You know what I mean? Just a plain metal door. So I'll probably do that. Airlock. We already have one of those guys. Yeah. Anyways, but thank you gamers for coming to the stream. I do appreciate it. We'll be live again tomorrow at 3:30 MST. And yeah, like you asked, Oshik, I am working on Deadlift. Just kind of in the background a little bit. But maybe we'll squeeze in some development time as long as I can get this update ready to go, which we basically are there, I think. There's not really a whole lot that feels left out as far as I can tell. I need to do some play testing, and also I need to do multiplayer testing with all this. I don't think this door is going to be synchronizing and stuff, so we're going to have to do that. But yeah, it's okay. I do want to add on some more tags to automatically do object synchronization in the game, because I did that with the dungeon rooms, and I want to do that with entities and buildings and everything, because why not? Add them to the spawner table, you know? So I think I'm going to do that. And I can just have a tag that denotes whether you actually want to synchronize it or not, just so you have that ability. I think we're going to work on that. Yeah, anyways, this update will be out on the 18th, so be on the lookout. I really want to do an experimental thing soon, like today, tonight probably. So I'll probably be doing that once I get this door all fixed, but yeah, we'll be doing that. But let's go raid out. We're gonna raid. There's a bunch of people on tonight. Let's raid Dobbs. Thanks for the stream, no problem. Thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Grab Starground on the 18th during the winter sale. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be working more on Starground. Probably more walls and doors and all that kind of stuff. And maybe some more floors. The doors and floors update. It's finally here, guys. After all this time. I would call it the doors and floors update, but it's too late. It's not too late. But really, I guess the focus is the dungeoning stuff. When chests and levers update? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna start the raid. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Oh, alright. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye.